I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, I'm delighted to introduce you to a wonderful author. Her name is Sally Francis. She has written a book called Over the Rainbow to a Newfound Consciousness. This enlightening book explores the spiritual evolution of humanity, tracing back to the earliest ancestors across different cultures and their profound connection with nature and the cosmos. The author delves into how ancient insights and astrology predicted the Earth's ascension and the dawning of the Age of Aquarius, leading to a global spiritual awakening. We're delighted to have this very insightful and talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank our team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support writers like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her wonderful book. The links are below this interview. Sally, thanks so much for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. When I was a kid, I grew up with that song that said, "This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius." You probably did too.
Yeah.
And it's part of your book. Tell us a little bit about this spiritual awakening in the world, and give us an overview of your book.
Okay. Well, it's got a lot in it. There's
Yeah.
a lot of information in it, so it's difficult to give an overview as such. But the dawning of the age of Aquarius occurs when the sun is in front of the constellation of Aquarius at the spring equinox. For the last 2,000 years, it's been in front of the constellation of Pisces. And of course, it's now moved to the front of Aquarius. So that's why we've got the dawning of the age of Aquarius, which has taken us into a new age, or taking us into the new age. And we can tell that really by the fact that things have changed, definitely changed in the world, the way that the world is being, and it's getting a little bit aggressive as well. But I think this is all part of the chaos of our enlightenment and the ascension of Earth. So sometimes we have to go through the chaos to get a new order.
Absolutely, absolutely. And part of your analysis here is looking at ancient wisdom and its modern relevance. Tell us
Yeah.
a little bit about some of the ancient understandings and practices that you discuss in your book and why they remain relevant today.
Okay, well, we go right the way back. The oldest religion is the Hindu religion,
Mhm.
and the yogis channeled a lot of information, which they wrote in documents called the Upanishads, if I pronounced that right. And they talk about the way that we should be living our life in a calm, relaxed, and happy way. And the way we can do that by they have a lot of different gods and goddesses. And but we also have other cultures in other uh, places in the world, like China and America, the Native American Indians, and Europe, that also look at these aspects of the ascension of Earth. And I was particularly interested in the fact that the ancient Egyptians looked at the night sky. They had no, as far as we know, they had no technical equipment to look at it, but they could see the night sky, and they got very interested in the planets and how, as the planets moved, it was predicting different events on Earth. So
Hmm.
there's a lot of information that's written about that.
When did you become so spiritually awakened? When did you tune into the different cultures about the ancient aspects of our civilization and how it impacts our world today? This isn't stuff I was taught growing up. I doubt it's something you were taught growing up. You probably
No.
latched onto it somewhere along the way, right?
Yeah, I began I did a course in spiritual healing, channeling energy from the universe and helping people use that energy to help people to heal. And that's what set me off, really. I was probably in my 40s when I did that.
Mhm.
And I've learned a lot. I've sort of got a bit obsessed with it all. So I did lots of different courses. I looked at crystals. The thing that I'm really, really interested in is the metaphysics of illness, which is
Mm.
how affects our life, and the different things in our life that are perhaps not as happy as they should be can cause us to become ill, and how that happens, and so that's really what set me off, was the fact that um, we could keep up. We should be living a happy life, but a
Mm.
lot of people don't live happy lives because of life circumstances.
Yeah.
And through those life circumstances, they then become ill through blocked energy in their bodies. And usually it's from an emotional drama that they've been through. So
Yeah.
that's yeah, I've been really interested in that. And I'm what's called a kinesiologist.
Hmm.
So that is means kinesis, the root of kinesis is energy, and ology, of course, is the science of energy. So that's where I am. That's where I'm at. How the energy in your life can create the situations in your life, creating your own reality.
How do you move beyond the harm, betrayal that's affecting your health? How do you become unstuck, unblocked?
Well, when when you can work out what the emotion is that's behind the dis-ease of your body, you
Hmm.
can then start to rearrange the way you think about life, and particularly think about yourself from a point of view of um, loving yourself and accepting you are who you are, and things that are happening around you has been created by you. That doesn't mean to say that you have to blame yourself for it, because there's no blame here. The universal energy is neutral, but you can change it by changing your thought processes. And there's lots of exercises and meditations within the book that show you how to do that. So um,
Wonderful, wonderful. I love how you connect everything. I think you do cover a lot of topics, but there is a common thread throughout. And as you were talking before, it actually reminded me of the Desiderata, where you are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here. So
yeah.
that's part of loving yourself as well. I'm quoting a lot of 1960s and 1970s pop culture today. You might have
Yeah,
noticed, but that was a spiritual time.
it
That's what
was.
the hippie movement was all about. It
Yeah,
was about making love and not war. And
exactly. Yeah,
we live in a very troubled time.
we do.
So the crime that we see today is, unprecedented. You know, is there hope as we have this dawning of the age of Aquarius?
I think we're going through a very chaotic time at the moment, but I think, like all chaos, it does rearrange itself eventually, and we get back into a new order. So if we look around the world, there's so many different things that are going on that we don't understand really, or why they've started. And as human beings in our own world is quite troubling for us. So all we need, I feel that we just need to be able to sit in our own energy, love ourselves unconditionally. And if we can, well, they say the light workers can spread the love and the light, then it will eventually overcome the negative energy that's being brought into the world.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you believe are the key factors driving the spiritual evolution of mankind that you outlined in your book, Over the Rainbow to a Newfound Consciousness?
The key factors, that's a tricky question.
That's
um,
good.
yeah, it's making me think now.
Yeah.
I think that the things that are, I think that we become very obsessed with possessions and money.
Mhm.
And I feel that sometimes we're driven by that, and we're driven to go towards success. And the success often, or our goals often cause more stress and
Yeah.
more upset. So I feel that sometimes it's better to have a calmer emotional life and less money than it is to drive yourself to what you would perceive. I a long time ago now, I did a course on, when you're at work, you do these courses, and
Mhm.
one of them was on time management. And the very first thing that the tutor said on this course was, if you were a voyeur at your own funeral, what would be
Mm.
your biggest achievement? She didn't mean what you'd already done. She meant what you'd set out to do. And I was so concerned with this the whole of the day that I don't even remember what the time management course was about. But it made me think about success. What is a successful life? And surely a successful life must be a life that you're happy with.
Yes. And most of that happiness lies within relationships, I would imagine, rather than in money or financial or career success. I mean, ask any actor who's landed a top TV series and is in it for more than a year, and he will tell you, or she will tell you, they want to do anything else but after a while. So be careful what you wish for, because you might get it, right? Yeah. And
well, that's in the book as well. Be careful what you wish for, because you will definitely get it. Because we don't, I can remember I was, one of the things that I actually mentioned in the book is that I had a partner who had kidney failure, and I was nursing him through kidney failure. But at the same time, I was also working, doing all the complementary therapy I do, and I was a tutor as well. And I sent a little message up to the I'm a great knitter. I like knitting. That's my thing that I do. And I knit fairies, believe it or not. Yeah. And I sent this little prayer up to the universe to say, all I want to do is sit and knit fairies. And the next week I fell over and broke my hip and was confined to bed for 3 months. Of course, I had plenty of time
to knit those fairies. Right? Yeah. Amazing. That could be falling under the category of be careful what you wish for, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we don't always think of the total consequence of it, do we? And then when we get what we wish for, we don't often recognize it, because it's not what we were thinking in the first place.
Exactly. And sometimes you have it, you don't realize it, because the journey has been so, convoluted along the way. You don't realize you're there already. You've gotten it. Before we leave you today, let me ask you this. What bit of advice do you have for readers seeking to understand themselves better and embrace their life path?
Understand that they are who they are. Everybody's unique. Everybody has talents and skills. And we should be understanding that and accepting of those, and loving ourselves unconditionally, but also loving other people unconditionally, because very often when we get into relationships, we want people to be who we want them to be and not who they actually are. But when we can start understanding who we are, understanding who the people around us are, we can have a much more loving and happy life.
Wonderful, great advice to leave our audience with today. Sally Francis has penned a remarkable book. It is called Over the Rainbow to Newfound Consciousness. A new year is coming up, 2024. It sounds like science fiction to me, because it seems like it's so far into the future, but that's what we are coming up with in just a matter of weeks now. And you're going to want to make a change in your life. You're going to want to make yourself better somehow. You're going to maybe you want to make yourself thinner or richer or advance in your job. Sally Francis has a new perspective and paradigm to offer you. And that is, what if you were to increase your spirituality, your consciousness, your love for humanity, your connection to the universe? Those are the qualities, those are the attributes, those are the things that actually might make for a profound change in 2024. Again, the name of the book, Over the Rainbow to a Newfound Consciousness. Sally, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you for having me. It's been great.
My pleasure. Enjoyed speaking with you. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.